Hey guys, Mysterious JG here. Sorry to have to do this. Knocking that lovely Bobo Christmas celebration video off the top of my page, and the poor Allied General video never even got to be at the top of my page. But I have to do another health update, and a health update. Considering my last health update was everything's great, well, things ain't so great, or I wouldn't be doing a health update. Um, so similar to last time, I'm kind of letting you guys know so that as I'm recording stuff, because this is my hobby, this is one of my outlets. I'm not trying to burden people with my problems, but I can't enjoy my hobby if I have to constantly guard against talking about what's happening. So I have to let you guys know, unfortunately, my cancer is back. Technically, I guess it would be called a recurrence. I mean, more properly speaking, my cancer was never gone. Um, I had CT scans after finishing a 12 cycle, 6-month chemotherapy regimen of Folfox last year, and my CT scans coming out of that were all clear. But unfortunately, a CT scan I had a couple of weeks ago indicated that I have still got some problems. I know I'm throwing out all these medical facts this time, but for people who are interested, I had colon cancer, which I think I explained. Now I have a tumor that's growing on a para-aortic lymph node, which the aorta I was associated with the heart, but it turns out the aorta, for those who know better than I do, is like a blood vessel that reaches all the way up and down the trunk of your body. So it's actually pretty close to where my first um, cancer was, and they removed a bunch of lymph nodes, and I don't know why they didn't take these out, other than there might have been some surgery complications with trying to do it. Um, Nevertheless, we thought the cancer was contained to one tumor, and we thought it was all out, and it is not. Um, so my diagnosis right now is my doc wants me, and he's pretty solid. Like, I've never heard anyone say a word against this guy, but he wants me to do 4 cycles, which is 8 weeks worth of a different chemotherapy regimen called FOLFIRI. I might not even be pronouncing that right. This is for anybody who feels like looking it up, I guess, because, if you can't find my personal information anyway, hopefully. Um, it's FOLFIRI, and it's actually with a drug called panitum, panitumumab, marketed as Vectibix. And I don't know why I'm getting into all the details here. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a different chemo regimen. The thing that I had last time that was causing the neuropathy in my hands and feet, and like severe temperature sensitivity in the throat, that's not part of the new cocktail. And we're not doing the old cocktail because the old cocktail apparently didn't work. So the new cocktail, the big side effect associated with this thing is I bet 90% of people have some kind of skin issues, and 15% of people have severe skin issues. So I'm talking about like rash and just kind of zits and itching and burning and just this unpleasantness. But the weird thing is I'm reading about it, and it's something the dermatologist I spoke to actually said. There is something of a association between the people who have the most severe symptoms from this thing tend to be the ones with whom it actually increases their survival chance. So it's like you're taking this drug that has these nasty symptoms, and with Folfox, I really was highly resistant to the symptoms. It's not necessarily good news if I take this thing and I'm one of the 10% that doesn't have symptoms, or the percent that has only mild symptoms. Like, actually, the worse this is, that kind of means it's working. It's like Desenex or whatever, that stuff you rub on your head. If you feel the tingling in your hair, it means it's working. Um, but anyway, yeah, so I'm back. I'm going to be back on the chemo. It's only going to be for 8 weeks this time. But that's 8 weeks before I kind of know more, because the point of this now is, and I'm not 100% following, tracking with what my doctor is saying, but we basically want to do 8 weeks of chemo and then reevaluate, because he thinks he's going to know a lot more about this cancer based on how it responds to 4 cycles of this treatment. Um, So that sucks. I'm not happy about this. Part of me is more like blasé than I was before because it's like, well, I've been through 12 cycles of chemo. I'm pretty sure I can handle chemo. And even the most unpleasant symptoms of this thing, it's going to be unpleasant, but it's not going to freak me out the way I was like, wait, my hands and feet are going to stop feeling? That was weirding me out. Um, there's other little side effects, like any chemo regimen can cause nausea. This one apparently could lead to some bathroom type symptoms. It's nothing that is going to be worse than the disease, as it were. Um, so I'm just going to have to roll with the punches and see what happens in 8 weeks. It's a weird situation to be in though, because in the best outcome is okay. Based on how this is responding, we think we want to do another operation because it would be carving real deep into my body. Doctor, like any operation, there's some risk. I'm sure I'll talk to him in a lot more detail if we decide to go the surgery route. But I mean, talking to him, it was like, well, why do we want to do this chemo first? And the answer is we really want to see how it responds. And there's some other kind of testing that we're doing. There's a fairly expensive kind of, I don't want to say trial stage, but like experimental, not treatment, but diagnostic tool, which is going to help determine like, hey, let's see if this chemo is really doing a number on these. We're trying to get a baseline. We're trying to figure out, can we detect whether this thing is spread anywhere else? I don't know that I'm making any sense even to myself right now, but I guess what I'm getting at is you really don't get too many shots at going in and surgically treating something like this. I'm told basically I've already had one big, deep gut cut operation going way, way into the meat and giblets. And they can maybe do that one more time. And if you do 2 surgeries of that type and a cancer pops up somewhere, it's just medical standard thing. You stop. You don't go after it anymore. You treat it with chemo. You treat it with radiation. You don't keep cutting people up and reaching in there and fun, because whatever it is, it's spread in such a way that it's, you'll just have another one pop up. The doctor uses the analogy of whack-a-mole because he's trying to simplify it for my dumb ass. It's like you don't go in and do a major surgery to find one mole and then have another mole pop up somewhere else, because after a while you can't keep treating that way. So the best case scenario for me is that I go through 8 weeks of chemo, the doc sees whatever he wants to see, to think the realistic chance that a second surgery will completely remove all cancer cells, and any cancer that I might get later is the same odds as anyone else. Like people get completely unrelated cancers that separately and spontaneously form in their bodies over the course of a lifetime. It happens. But yeah, unless they see something as a result of this 4 weeks or 4 cycles of chemo for over 8 weeks, unless we see something along those lines to indicate that a second surgery is going to be the final end-all solution, they're not going to do another surgery at this time. The good news, because that sounds kind of bleak, the good news is radiation, which really was not even an option because of where my original tumor was located. Radiation isn't really an effective treatment. This tumor spread to a different part of the body where radiation is actually in the toolbox. So maybe that's a way to go. But really, crossing the road of, well, what do we do if we can't do a surgery, or if we're not confident that a surgery will get rid of it completely, that it might have spread somewhere else already and we can't see. It's so crazy because the deal, because I was kind of asking my doctors, like, well, wait a second now. And I always preface everything with like, I'm sure I know what you're doing. I'm sure you know what you're doing, rather, and I'm not like accusing you of overlooking something. I'm just trying to understand, how does it work if you can, how is it that can't we just keep doing PET scans or whatever and find any new cancers? And the way he explained it was like this. It's like we have imaging technology that can detect changes in growth in these lymph nodes and stuff of less than a centimeter. And we can detect it inside your body through all of your meat and everything. We can detect these changes in down at the millimeter level. But a millimeter growth indicates millions of new cells. And it takes one new cell in there that we couldn't detect. and that's kind of where you're fucked, right? So again, cross the bridge when we come to it of, okay, we didn't see what we wanted to see out of this chemo, so we don't want to do an operation because we need to leave operation on the table for a later date if an immediately life-threatening tumor pops up somewhere. The tumor I've got now is not as dangerous as the one that I had, which was threatening to kill me, like immediately. This one, the danger, of course, is that it's in my body and that I can continue to metastasize, and eventually I'll start having cancer pop up at other places, which will more immediately be threatening. But this one's more like, it's not going to kill me tomorrow. It's not going to kill me next week. So there's actually time to try to do different treatments. And I really wish this wasn't happening, but it is. And that's just kind of the way it is. So again, I'm talking about this. Why am I talking about this on my freaking YouTube channel where I'm playing like silly games? It's because I can't sit down and record a bunch of videos and not be able to mention it if it's on my mind. I have to be able to make like dark humor. Like it's not like I talked about it all the time, but I do remember like playing freaking Metal Gear Revengeance DLC about the stupid robot wolf, which not a lot of people watched, but a few people watched, and I just went off into an aside about freaking cancer in the middle of that because I needed to. I was playing as a robot wolf, jumping from platform to platform in a game, it's a Metal Gear game, so of course it needed to have platforming mechanics, but I'm playing the stupid robot wolf jumping around from platform to platform DLC, and I'm having dark humor about cancer because that's what I needed to be able to do in that moment, and that's why I'm talking about this. I don't want to burden anybody. I don't resent anybody who watches my videos about a game they're interested in and doesn't check my health update stuff. On that note, same rules as last time. Anybody who wants to throw out their well wishes in the comments, I'll read everything that's in the comments on this video. I won't respond probably to any of them because I don't want to set up a thing where I respond to one person and somebody else wrote something that I don't respond to and then they feel bad. I'm probably way overthinking it, but anything you say in the comments of this video I will read. So if you're just like, if you feel the need to say something supportive, go ahead and do it, and don't take it personally if I don't write back. Maybe don't jump in the comments of this one and ask me when I'm going to play a game that you're interested in seeing on the channel, or just being a dick, but whatever. So there you go. I guess that's the point I'm getting at. I don't plan to do any more update videos about this, and I guess I kind of owe you an update video in about 2 months or so when I will have been through this chemo cycle and gotten the doctors, had a chance to go over the results with the doctor and to know what's next. And again, it's a weird place to be where I'm hoping to be on the shelf for probably the better part of a month in a hospital recovering from an operation. But that is my hope because that means things went well enough that my oncologist, who's a super sharp dude, thinks that, okay, I think we can actually get this and have you be cancer-free, like 100%, no more dicking around. I mean, CT scans for the rest of my life probably, but no more dicking around. We'll get rid of this thing. All you got to do is go through another operation where you're lying in a hospital bed for, a week or two, feeling too fucking weak to move to the bathroom without assistance, but you'll spend 2 weeks in a hospital bored out of your mind, and when that's over, you'll be okay. I'm actually rooting for that outcome. Otherwise, you get into like management of. I don't even want to think about it, but I'll update you guys when I know more. Otherwise, this continues to be. I hope for you guys this is a fun channel to come. Just check out goofy gameplay and commentary because for me, it's about escaping and yeah. So I guess that's it. I feel like there was something else I was going to say. I probably should have written down some notes, but I didn't. So if I miss anything major, I guess I'll fill you in. I'll do like a little addendum. But for now, I sure hope I beat this thing. I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, I'm going to keep playing video games because it gives me something to do when I'm trying to resist the urge to scratch my own skin off. See you guys.